In this lesson, we will use evidence to explain how wind and water change Earth's landscape. Let's look back at the video you saw earlier in the lesson. What effect do you think water is having on the rocks at the bottom of the cliffs? In this activity, you'll observe how water and rocks can change other rocks. To carry out this investigation, you'll use safety goggles, 10 pebbles, 8 small pieces of chalk, a jar with a lid, a stopwatch, a hand lens, water, and a paper towel. To complete this activity, you'll shake pebbles, chalk, and water in different combinations to observe the effects. Before you begin, make a prediction. How will water and rocks affect the way chalk changes? Take a moment to share your prediction with your classmates, then select Continue. Before you begin, to protect your eyes, you'll need to put on your safety goggles. Start by using your hand lens to observe the 4 pieces of chalk. Now place the 10 pebbles and 4 pieces of chalk in the jar. Attach the lid to the jar by twisting the lid clockwise. Twist the lid until you can't turn it anymore. For the next step, your partner will use the stopwatch to time you as you shake the jar for 2 minutes. Remember to hold on to the jar tightly with both hands as you shake it. Stop shaking the jar when your partner tells you to. Leave the lid on your jar as you observe the chalk with the hand lens. What do you see? Wait a minute before removing the lid. Carefully remove the lid. Pick out the 4 pieces of chalk and place them in front of you. Use the hand lens to get a closer look at the chalk. Pick out the 10 pebbles and set them down in front of you. Slowly and carefully empty any powder in the jar into a trash can. Move slowly so you do not create a cloud of chalk dust. Now record your data. In your notebook, draw what you observed. Select Continue when you finish recording your data. Next, you're going to see what effect adding water has when you shake the pebbles and chalk. Do you think there will be a difference? Discuss your ideas with your group. Add the 10 pebbles and 4 new pieces of chalk to the jar. Slowly pour the water into the jar. Attach the lid to the jar. Turn the lid until it is tight. Just as before, your partner will use the stopwatch to time you as you shake the jar for 2 minutes. Remember to hold on to the jar tightly with both hands as you shake it. Stop shaking the jar when your partner tells you to. Observe the jar, water, pebbles, and chalk. Walk to the sink. Loosen the lid on the jar, but do not remove the lid completely. We want to empty the water, but stop the solid pieces of chalk and pebbles from falling into the sink. Carefully empty the water into the sink. Rinse the sink with water, then return to your workspace. Carefully remove the lid. Pick out the 4 pieces of chalk and place them in front of you. If your chalk is still wet, you can place it on a folded paper towel. We used a sheet of black construction paper to make observing the chalk easier. Use the hand lens to get a closer look at the chalk. What differences do you see? Record your data. Draw or write about the chalk in your notebook. When you finish recording your data, select Continue. Look at the 3 pieces of chalk. Going from left to right on the screen, you see the chalk that was shaken with the water and pebbles, the chalk that was shaken with just pebbles, and a piece of chalk that was not shaken at all. Now that you've finished collecting your data, take some time to communicate your findings. Use your data to complete the Communicate Information section.